Hi, I'm Trevor May from Mayfly Audio. Welcome back to this. We're down to the short strokes. Today, we're going to try and finish the chassis. What I want to do is get it 100% wired and throw some tubes on it, put it on the bench, and see if it will pass audio. Let's get cracking. So here's the basic plan. First, I'm going to wire the output jacks because just the wire's on the way. Then I'm going to take our little knob and input jack assembly, mount that, and wire that. Then I'm going to install the rectifier tube socket. Then I'm going to wire the jacks and miscellaneous stuff up here. Then install the power transformer and get the rest of it wired. The nature of this work is such that it's not paced well for YouTube videos, which means a lot of what you're going to see is going to be on time lapse, but that's what you're going to end up seeing. So that was the output jack wired. Okay, I'm not liking this. Remember I said I adjusted the jacks so they wouldn't touch? Well, they're touching. I'm going to have to figure something else out now, I think. Yeah, I could not figure out a location of the jack so that it did not short to the turret board. After careful consideration of my predicament, I've elected to not install the number 2 jacks on both channels. Gotta do what you gotta do. So watch out for that if you're building one of these. The potentiometers are installed, as well as the input jacks, just a pair of them. Now if I can get the camera to focus, we're just going to wire those up. You can see the grounds are in place to the ground bus. Those are soldered before everything else went in. But the remaining wires are reachable, so I'm not going to sweat those and just solder them up just right now. We've got the potentiometers and the input jacks wired, at least 2 of them. I think it's time to install the power transformer. All right then, so we have the rectifier socket wired. It was really tricky to get in there. I've got the heaters now wired. The only thing left to do is to install the main supply. It's worth noting the transformer came with a bias winding, not required in the Tweed Deluxe because it is cathode biased. So I've just stowed that after putting some heat shrink on the end to ensure it doesn't touch anything. It was a severe pain in the ass working on it though. It is extraordinarily awkward. You can really understand why Leo decided to go with sort of a flat design with the blackface amplifiers, because it's better. Something I noticed just now, the kit did not came with 100 ohm resistors required to balance the heater supply. These are usually half-watt resistors. Because I build pedals all day long, I don't have half-watt resistors. I've got quarter-watt resistors. They should be able to take it, at least for testing purposes, to get it up and running, to prove everything else out. I'm gonna go with these. It's time to install the power cord. Pre-stripped. Going to insert it into the strain relief, tighten it up, and then wire it from there. And there you go. So we're here at the bench, and I want to show you the test setup. First, I have my dim bulb tester here. All the AC voltage is going to go through these light bulbs, and if there's a short or some other problem, it won't blow anything up. Then I have the device under test here, and then over here I have a multimeter, which I'm going to use to test various voltages throughout. I don't have any tubes installed, so this for the first initial test, I'm just essentially testing that the power transformer is working and it's generating all the correct voltages. So no tubes installed. Here I'm going to flip the switch. Well, the pilot light turned on, that's a good sign. Check the heater winding. 3.3 volts on the other side. 3.3 volts. Now I'm going to check the 5-volt filament. Yes, that's there. Now we're going to check the B plus out of the supply. Ooh, 350 volts there. And 350 volts there. So it looks like it's working. I'm going to turn it off, install the rectifier tube. So this is where the rubber hits the road. We should be getting DC voltage. Turn on. Let's check our B plus. 442 volts there. So the rectifier tube appears to be working. So turn that off, and we're just going to let that voltage dissipate, and then I'm going to install the rest of the tubes. Now I've got the output tubes installed, and it's on standby currently, so we just turn that on. Now we're going to wait for these tubes to heat up. Then we're going to hit the standby switch. Okay, it's doing something. Let's check the voltage. So we have our PS Vane 12AX7, correct way. I went to the guys at the tube store, and they sourced for me this 12AY7. I confess that I have not tested this. Okay, everything seems to be working. I think it's time to flip it to full voltage and see what it does. Here we go. Now the B plus is reading 380. Next one, 337. Next one, 250 for those preamp tubes. It looks like it's functioning. Now let's hook up a dummy load to it and pass some signal through it. So I've got the device under test, the amplifier, into a dummy load. We've got the input being generated by my little signal generator. That's going into the input of the amplifier. So we have everything hooked up. It's been powered up for a little while. The input is on the yellow channel of the oscilloscope. The output is on the blue channel of the scope. Let's see what we got. Well, it looks like we have output. Clips at around 12 volts RMS. That translates into 8 ohms, 18 watts. So the battery's about to die in my camera, so that's going to be it for today. So far so good. I'm very happy that it came up and is generating full power straight away. More in the next video.